Fake! Liar! You liar!
And we're back. Welcome to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Monday Mayhem. We've got the preparedmind.club. We've got subscribestar.com. And I guess we're still broadcasting on X. Even though the channel's been stolen on X. They took my pictures off it. They changed the name from @mypreparedmind to I don't know what else. But I think Jolene says we might be able to get it back now. We finally got X on the case. Good golly, what a bunch of fucking thieves. Anyways, it's all lies. Everything is lies. Liar, right? And America, not just me and you. America en masse, the whole thing needs to wake up to who our allies are. My only issue is half the country and probably half the whole planet has lost its mind. Apparently, morality doesn't matter. Apparently, law and order doesn't matter. All that matters is agenda. All that matters is agenda. All that matters is agenda. What is the agenda? Destroy America? Who cares about law? Who cares about order? Who cares about morality? Who cares about anything? It's all about the agenda. Now, we're going to continue with our program that we started last week. All through the show, put up your comments on any topic you want, and we'll read them right then and discuss your opinion. And folks, my opinion is that just about every country on this planet has insane government. Insane government. And we in America, if we're going to survive this, we need to wake up to who our allies are and, well, to who they're not. Now, as an example, the Israeli Knesset or government. Why do they have to have these bullshit names over there? The Israeli Knesset has given their preliminary approval of a new law in Israel to execute Palestinian detainees. Okay, did they get a trial? What are they being tried for? I got it. But it doesn't say that because the other day, I think it was their version of the Secretary of Defense, just came out and he pointed to all these prisoners on the ground and said, the only thing left to do is execute them. Well, apparently they now have the bill to just execute them, including, children. When is Washington, D.C. going to learn and respond properly, not just to Israel, folks, but to the entire Middle East? You see, I'm not pro-Israel, anti-Hamas, or pro-Hamas, anti-Israel. I'm anti-anything immoral, indecent, murderous, genocidal. All these people over there are just fucked in the head. When is DC going to learn and respond properly to this Middle East mentality and cut them all off? I would like to know. I really would like to know. And both of these groups of people over in the Middle East, they're representatives here. Their constituents, their adherents, their offspring, whatever you want to call, they're freakish people who are in America. They're now running for office. They're getting elected in office because enough of them have been force-fed into our country that they can do that. And they're doing that. And they don't care. They will lie, cheat, and steal to get power and authority, and then they will destroy everyone that doesn't agree with them. And they have admitted it. Especially publicly admitted it are the Muslims. And speaking of them, we have the mayoral candidate for New York City, a communist and a global jihad intifada supporter, Ma'am Danny. Guess what he did? He, in order to get elected, put up at the front a trans rabbi. That's right. This trans rabbi marched for Palestine. in his campaign. In Mamdani's campaign, he is using a transgender rabbi. I didn't think there was any such thing, but I can't put anything past the Israelis, who will believe anything, say anything, do anything, as long as it gets them more power, more money, more influence. This game is sick. Oh, the reason that Mamdani wanted a trans rabbi is to help push the Jewish community to vote for him. He's trying to sucker in the Jewish community in New York City to vote for him by bringing out a trans rabbi. Again, this game is sick and it's twisted, as foreigners are trying to control 100% Washington, D.C. They're trying to control our major cities. And what they're pushing for, folks, is the destruction of our Christian republic. And they're pushing for a Middle Easternification of our republic. That's what I'm going to call it. They're Middle Easternizing us, our whole country. They're bringing all the low IQ inbred scum from Israel, Palestine, North Africa, the Middle East, the Far East, everywhere they can. They're bringing in these low IQ knuckleheads. Are you prepared for what we're going to have to pay for? I never saw this coming. I never saw it coming. Decades ago, I saw the United Nations as a problem. I saw Russia as a threat and China as a threat. I saw terrorism as something that we could keep at bay by keeping the Middle East out of our country. And the Democrats and Republicans have basically invited them in, either for business purposes, Republicans, or votes, the Democrats. They have both allowed this to happen, and both are doing nothing to fix it. Ultimately, folks, you and I are going to be shoved in a corner. Shoved in a corner. And what happens when you're cornered and threatened? Well, you have two choices. You either lay down and allow yourself to be killed, or you come out fighting to the death. While I am not encouraging anyone to commit any acts of violence, I'm giving you my opinion. What is your opinion? I like to know these things because I want to hear what really is bothering you guys. Shit bothers me because of what I see during a work day, a personal day, or what I read and see on the internet. As I scan the entire gamut. And it's fascinating to me to see people who don't like one thing about one part of the world that is invading our country. They just blindly support the other side when it is all sides non-American, which are un-American, and they all want to destroy us. And both sides, everything non-Christian is willing to lie to you and me. So are you prepared for the consequences? Are you prepared to reap the whirlwind? Are you prepared to come out of the corner and reclaim what is yours? Do you have food, water? Do you have shelter and clothing? Do you have medicine? It's a very good question. Do you have first aid? Do you have the skills to use all these things and items in an emergency, including self-defense? Do you have the ability to power your devices to stay in contact with the world through solar power and communications gear? If you do not, or you think you could do better, go to the preparedmind.club. Preparedmind.club. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable what's going on with these people in our world. Now, it seems like everyone's willing to sell out. Are you? Are you willing to sell out your country for a little bit of money? Well, I've got a story here that should frost your cake. In the state of Mississippi, guess what? 20 law enforcement officers. That's right, 20 of them. 20 law enforcement officers have been indicted for aiding and abetting drug smuggling into America through Mississippi. 20 law enforcement officers, folks, have been caught working for drug cartels. Back the blue. Look, as much as we've been told, well, police don't know who you are, so they can pull a gun on you because they're scared. Understand it works both ways, right? Respect works both ways. Do you see it the way I see it? I sure hope you do. I hope you see it the way I see it. Because we're going to have trouble. Now, one of the major metropolises in this country, I think it's called Minneapolis, is run by non-Americans, or shall I say, people who don't like America. The mayor, the city council, and even the police department. Or is this Dearborn, Michigan? Maybe it's Dearborn, Michigan, where Christians are told to leave city council meetings, where they're treated like second-class citizens. You see what a problem this is? We have police departments in Chicago, New York City, hiring non-American citizens to be law enforcement. In fact, I think it was Illinois had an illegal alien who was hired as a law enforcement officer. This is the United States of America. I figured before it even got anywhere close to as bad as it is, that we would have blood in the streets. Well, not yet. Not yet, but we do have a culture war that is all over the top of us. It's a drug culture. It's a religious culture. It is an evil cult, which is the cult of personality leading everything, whether it's a political party, Hollywood, media, it doesn't matter. We've got trouble. Are you prepared? Are you seeing it for what it is? And I tell you what, I've actually noticed the last week, I'm going to use the word several people saying they've officially had enough. They now know it's time to fight physically, violently, or there will be no country for us. So when people say, John, how will we know when it's time? You'll know when it's time. These people in their comments said, once the shooting starts, it's not going to stop. Right? They're going to go and they're going to take care of all the business that they know that needs to be taken care of. I found that alarming. I also found it interesting that people have finally had enough and they're starting to think that there's only one way to solve this problem that government has allowed or created, and that government has refused to address and correct. Once again, government has allowed it and created the problems we have. And government has refused to acknowledge the problem and correct the problem. Instead, they play the pea and shell game. They lie to us and say, yeah, elect me and I'll fix it. We're going to end up in a situation where the entire country, and I mean the entire country, is going to believe that it is the one in the correct position. And that anything they do will be justified. That, my friends, is known as a free-for-all. And I don't know if any of us want to be involved in a free-for-all when guns are involved. Which is why I say, please understand the world around you, the 10-mile radius around you, because that's where the resources are, what's going to help you get through your problems, and the people that you're going to have to contend with. So I say, look, if you live in a lightly populated area, get to find out, figure out who your neighbors are. Because if 4, 5, or 6 out of 10 of them are Democrats, you're going to have problems. And every one of us, including me, has around them at least 4 out of 10 Democrats. I'd be shocked and also pleased to hear that some of you are surrounded by 70%, 80%, 90% Republicans. I hope that you have that in your case. And I know some of the more rural people likely do. But if you live in a small town, you bet there's going to be what I like to call a shitload of Democrats. There's just no avoiding them. And what's crazy is they have been brainwashed. They have been indoctrinated. They have been led down a road that leads to immorality and bad decisions. And if you doubt me, I'm going to ask you a few questions about our friends, the Democrats. The mayhem they have in mind for you is because they believe it's perfectly acceptable and even advisable to kill babies. They believe it's perfectly acceptable and advisable to give your children puberty blockers, transgender drugs, and even have surgeries to physically, permanently alter and mutilate their genitals. Democrats, they believe that children should be taught about homosexual sex as early as soon as they learn English, but certainly once they're in school. And Democrat teachers believe that they shouldn't have to tell parents anything, and that they can influence these children's lives and destroy them by filling their heads with evil, cultish, satanic, sexualized mush. These are the Democrats around you. They believe the borders should be open and that all manner of downtrodden, underprivileged people from around the world who are victims of your racism, America, your racism at home, as you've worked your job, paid your taxes, raised your family, and you've maintained everything for yourself. Because of you in another country, and mostly in other continents, it's your fault. And so we should open the country up and bring them in, and then use the government with a gun to your face to take your money to give to them. 4, 5, 6 out of the people around you believe that. Support it. These Democrats around you believe that if someone has committed a crime like theft, grand theft, assault with a deadly weapon, robbery, home invasion, drug dealing, grooming children, raping people is perfectly fine. And when you're arrested for it, the judge should let you go with a warning or probation or, time served while waiting for your court date, or a minimal sentence, say a year. And then you should be let out instantly for, the jails are full. Let them go. Jails are full. It's okay. Let them back out in public. It's fine. When daily we get reports that people let out of jail continue to rob, rape, and steal. And worse, if it could be worse. This is the Democrat Party all around us. This is what they want. They think it's fine for government to lie, cheat, and steal. They think it's fine for mainstream media to change a story. Kind of like the BBC was discovered today of taking President Trump's speech back on January 6th of 2020, doctoring it, adding phraseology, things he said that are out of place in order to characterize him as a terrorist. That's the BBC. That's what they tell their people about Trump in America. It's not an American problem. It's a worldwide problem. But for you and me, it's the people around us that are going to be our problems. And we could probably go on for hours about how the Democrats want to destroy this country and in turn destroy you. They hate themselves, so they want to punish you. And it doesn't matter if you're white or Asian or black or Hispanic, but they especially hate white people. And I have really, folks, really enjoyed all of the minorities coming out in social media and talking about all of these fucking scumbags on Snap and EBT who are threatening and actually stealing, looting, robbing people in parking lots. and claiming they're also going to eat people if they don't get their free stuff back. I've watched white trash, black trash, Hispanic trash, stealing from others, looting stores, blaming anyone who doesn't want them to have free stuff. It's an entitlement mentality, folks, that the rest of us didn't know existed. We thought, at least I did, that 90% of the people on public assistance, we thought they were grateful. We thought they understood they were getting a handout. We thought they understood that it was a privilege for them. No, no, no. They think it's their right. It is your duty to pay for them. And that taking it away from them is a crime and they can revolt against it and break more laws. Welcome to America, November 2025. Are you prepared? Don't look to the police, folks. I know that if things get nasty, they will protect themselves and their families first. There's going to be some good ones out there doing their best, folks, putting their lives at risk to help us. I know that. But there's also a bunch of them are just going to get the blue flu. They're not going to check in. Why should they get killed? Why should they risk themselves to keep law and order in a city, county, or state that has absolutely thrown law and order to the fucking wind and allowed these groups out there? When that happens, there's nothing left but to protect yourself. Are you prepared? Is your neighborhood what you think it is? Is your greater community, the mile around you, what you think it is? Is the 10-mile radius, your town, your city around you, is that what you think it is? Or is it something quite different? 20 law enforcement officers indicted for taking bribes and aiding drug smuggling, knowing it's illegal, knowing it damages and kills people, ruins lives and families and children as well. And these cops had no problem taking money for it. We have a war in our country, folks. I could call it the SHTF culture war. And guess what? It is sponsored by government against the people. That's right. It should be a political action group, a political action committee, government against the people, because that's what it is. Let me give you a fine example that just popped up on the news today. Another one, folks, another horrifying rape of a young woman by 4 North African immigrants who dragged her to a neighborhood that is inhabited by illegal immigrants so they could do whatever they want. Unfucking believable. And America's greatest ally, Israel. Well, their military is now embarrassed. Netanyahu is now embarrassed, folks. You want to know why? Well, because a general, an officer within the Israeli legal system leaked the video that shows Israeli soldiers gang raping a male prisoner, a man. They raped him so badly, and children, plug your ears, 3, 2, 1. They raped him so badly that they completely ruptured his colon, his rectum, destroyed him. He's had to go through surgeries, and he's still completely fucked up. This all happened a year ago, and the film just got released. And you know what? Israel is not sad and sorry that it happened. You know what? You know why? Because their culture says it's fine. They're upset that they got caught and that the world sees this. They're embarrassed by that, but they're not embarrassed by the belief. In fact, the Israelis, folks, have been marching, protesting for the right to rape Palestinian prisoners. It is unbelievable where we're at on this planet, folks. Just the absolute fucking evil that's out there. I'm going to give you some story time. Remember the story of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible? Yeah, they were a bunch of filthy, disgusting, rapist homosexuals. And that's why it's called sodomy and sodomizing, right? It's being a butt pirate. So story time, Sodom and Gomorrah. The story goes like this. Angels of God were visiting a righteous man. And the men of Sodom and Gomorrah saw them. And they wanted to have sex with them. No, they wanted to rape their asses. So these unrighteous members of the city banged on the door and demanded that the men be allowed to rape the angels. Well, they were not allowed, and those cities and those people were destroyed, according to the story time. But today, Israelis are protesting for the right to rape prisoners, and they claim that rape is actually self-defense. That's right. Israelis are claiming, while they protest for the right to rape, that rape is self-defense for them. Do you see the issue here? These people, folks, in the Middle East are not Almighty God's chosen people, neither the Talmudic Jews nor the Muslims. They look to me, when I look at what they're doing, what they're calling for, what they're up to, objectively I look. And it appears to me that maybe Jesus is right calling them the synagogue of Satan. What do you think, folks? What do you think? It's, to me, this is just a giant freaking mess. It's a giant mess. It really is. I wish there was a better way to describe this. But it's a fucking mess. And we're not going to get out of it. Not easily. Not at all. And our own country is in big trouble, folks, as we've been detailing here. And me telling you, please get prepared. It seems like Americans are last, folks. The Trump administration is being ordered by two, not one, but two Obama judges now, have ordered the Trump administration to partially pay SNAP welfare benefits during this government shutdown. And you know what they're being told to use? This was a head scratcher for me. They're being forced to use contingency funds. Contingency funds. I remember hearing during the hurricane that there was no money, and this is when the government was operating. There's no money for North Carolinians affected by the hurricanes and flooding. No money for them. None at all. Even though the government, everyone's getting paid. Every fucking program is paid for. Floridians, no money for you. Los Angelans, no money for you. Lahainans, people in Maui when they burned, no money for you. At most, you got $500 fucking dollars. But judges say there's contingency funds and give it to the welfare recipients. Ask yourself this. Did the piece of shit Democrat courts ever demand contingency funds for us, or to be spent on paying the military, or taking care of veterans, or other taxpayer needs? No, they never did. They fucking hate us. And they just oppose Trump, which is the only reason they're saying contingency funds, as if there's a bank account for the government. There is no fucking bank account. There's a printing machine, a printing press. And in fact, they don't even print anything. They just type numbers on a computer and poof, money is poof, magically poof, created. Poof, 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 poof. Unless you're an American, a conservative, then fuck you. This is where we're at. All of a sudden, they have magic money for SNAP recipients. The people who look like they could go on a fucking diet for 6 months and stand to lose a few pounds. Not making fun of those who are obese or morbidly obese, but these people are eating a little bit too well, if you ask me. As if they don't have a job and all they do is sit around and eat junk food they buy with your tax money. There's a problem. There's a problem and it needs to be addressed. Let me tell you how they handle the fucking problem in another country. We talked last night on the Zoo about the mayor of a small town, Morelia, Mexico, where the mayor was assassinated by the drug cartels. Why? Because this mayor kept asking the president of Mexico, the big-nosed, hunchbacked president named Scheinbaum, kept asking her for help with the cartels. Well, she helped them all right. She gave the cartels carte blanche, and the guy was assassinated. So, in response to that, the people of Mexico fucking had it. They stormed the government palace after the assassination. In Morelia, Mexico, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of young Mexicans, folks, they've been identified by some as Gen Z Mexican protesters. Well, they're more than protesters. They broke into the Michoacan government palace. They screamed and chanted that they wanted justice because Mayor Carlos Manzo was gunned down, assassinated in cold blood. Do you expect to start seeing this in America? I want to remind everyone right now that the Israeli lobby held a meeting and had all of their sellout American politicians show up and sell out media. Or maybe they were always Israel first. This includes Mark Levin, Randy Fine, a Republican from Florida, who calls himself the Hebrew Hammer. He looks more like the Hebrew Hamburger, or maybe Hamburglar. These fuckers did nothing but threaten you and I. Threaten America first. Called America first nothing short of, well, everything short of a terrorist organization or a terrorist idea. And they said that Tucker Carlson is the biggest threat to the Israelis in America. The biggest threat to Israel in America is now Tucker Carlson. Folks, that is the exact expression used to describe Charlie Kirk right before he was assassinated. You seeing what's going on here? The videos are coming out, folks, and it's proving that these people have lost their shit. They've lost their minds. Every group outside of America is anti-America, whether it's Israel or Islam, whether it's England or Europe. They hate America unless they can get us to pay their fucking bills and give them what they want for it. We're in big, big trouble. I tell you what, I haven't heard from you guys yet. So what I'd like to do is hear from you now. Let's do this. Mr. Uman, maybe we can have a little fun with some comments out there. I think we got a lot to discuss. I've tried to cover everything, and there's so many topics. What do we want to discuss? What shall we do? Uman is going through. He's punching through the computer program. What's the most exciting topic? And it's Uman himself. He calls his own number, and he's going to run it right up the middle for a touchdown. He says, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Trump tacoed. Tacoed means Trump always chickens out. Trump tacoed to the activist judge's illegal order to restart SNAP, the supplementary nutritional program. Republicans have zero balls. Just give it a couple weeks and they'll pass the continuing resolution as written by the Democrats. That's Uman's prediction. What do you guys think? Now, your comments don't just help me or Uman. Your comments down below can come up on the screen, or people can read them in the future, and they will learn That's why I think it's so critical for you guys to share your opinions. If you've checked into a video and you're watching it and you're paranoid the government's going to come and get us for talking, well, they already know who you are. They know who I am. They know who Uman is. There is no hiding from these people. They have their lists. They have their files. They have our names and addresses. They know where we work. They know our bank accounts. They have no problem if they wanted to go full communist on us. Full Russian, we're going to murder you guys communist. If they want, they can do that anytime. Except we have guns. And that's what's stopping them, the Second Amendment. But Uman's prediction that Trump and the Republicans will fold and give in to the Democrats and give them $1.5 trillion this year alone. $1.5 trillion to illegals to pay for them. I am going to go so far as to say that's not going to happen. That's my prediction. Now, Uman, he's got a hell of an argument because Republicans are weak. They're a bunch of lily-livered, spineless pussies. Even pussies look at the Republican Party and go, you guys are pussies. They're cowards. They're spineless. They're also controlled opposition, controlled players, controlled participants. Some are willing and some are controlled. Some are willing and controlled. Like Light in the Loafers, Lindsey Graham, who said at the Israeli meeting where American politicians showed up and stuck their hands out and showed that they're good Israeli bitches. Light in the Loafer, Lindsey Graham says, we're killing all the right people. Government officials, especially federal and high government officials, including bureaucrats, should not be bragging publicly to anybody about killing and making it sound like it's a fun thing. It's a good thing. We have enemies. Our country does a lot more than everyone realizes. But we have enemies, and if they need to be killed in war, in conflict, you don't run around bragging about it publicly. It's not just that it's bad decorum. It just says that you don't see the value of human life. We know our enemies see no value to human life. In fact, several of our enemies see zero value to our lives. They just see value in what we have, and they want it. Anyways, Uman, I mean, you could be right, dude. The Democrats are spineless, lily-livered, weakling, sniveling bitches. And by the way, they are hiding Epstein's clients and the Epstein files. Oh, yeah. And there's a subject here I've been waiting for. I'm gonna ask Uman. Uman, is anyone bringing up Kash Patel? Well, let me help all of you. The director of the FBI, Kash Patel, that bug-eyed, one-eye squirrel hunting, the other one's fishing, that guy, a couple of years ago said Christopher Wray, the former director of the FBI, you know what he said about him? He said he should not have a government airplane, a government jet. Every time they start that jet, it's $15 million. You know what that fucking hypocritical sack of shit, honeypot fallen in loser of a bug-eyed screwball who doesn't do his job, you know what he did? Get this. He took a government jet and he flew it to listen to his girlfriend sing in Nashville, the national anthem at a sporting event. Yeah, Kash Patel did that. But guess what? Americans can track planes with a plane tracking app. And they followed and tracked Kash Patel using government planes, our tax dollars, to fly his sorry ass to go play with his girlfriend. And when caught, you know what he did? He fired the person he suspected of releasing that information. No, people tracked it all on their own, Kash, you dumb fuck. Then he went on to write a very long response and excuse. You know what he did? His girlfriend, folks, was never a Mossad agent. Guess what she did? She worked for Mossad, doing stuff for Mossad, but she claimed she wasn't an agent. Oh, so you're just a subcontractor helping Mossad, which is the Israeli CIA, do stuff. She's been accused of being a honeypot for Kash Patel to control him. He is such a spineless bitch. That he is kissing up and telling America she has done more for America than we have. What a fucking insult. A country singer, a music singer, and former contractor for Mossad has done more for America than us? How many fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes do I have to fucking pay in my life? And you, thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And this fucking piece of shit is going to tell you, his girlfriend, that he's using taxpayer dollars to fly millions of dollars in a government jet to go screw around, that she is better than all of us? Unfucking conscionable. He should be fired. He should be fired for that. He should be fucking fired. Just fucking, what an asshole. Literally, what an asshole. Crazy. Okay. Darcy T sent in yet another Pfizer Files story. I figured, well, we may as well cover that because the Pfizer files are not going to go away. Or wait a minute, let's take a wild guess. While millions and millions and literally tens and hundreds of millions of people have had adverse reactions to the Jim Jones juice, and millions and tens of millions have died as well out of the billions that have taken it. We tend to cover examples of these deaths with people who shouldn't, or people who are noteworthy. And a social media influencer from Spain had a stroke at age 41. Darcy asks, I wonder if I can find accurate death rates around the world since 2021. Well, the answer is no. They don't want to release that information. But you can take a wild guess. What do you think killed this fucking person? By the way, he wasn't just a regular social media influencer. He's a trucking influencer. I think his name was Odi Kabadas. Didn't just have a stroke. He fucking died from the stroke. People used to live, folks. They would have a stroke, a heart attack. They would have seizures. And they'd live. No problem. Go to the hospital. They fix you right up. Have a heart attack. They give you some blood thinners and you're fine. Stroke, they give you some blood thinners and you're fine. Have seizures, they give you seizure medicine, you're fine. Now you fucking die. Age 41. In a world where we're supposed to be healthier than ever because of science. Trust the science, right? This is what we get. Do you trust the fucking science? I know I don't. Now, I'm going to share this story with you. Man, before I share this story with you, let's have some more fun. What's the audience interested in on this fine day? And it's Robin G, a great supporter of the channel. Hello, Robin. She writes, Trump tries to be Mr. Nice Guy instead of doing the right thing. All you have to do is talk nice and agree with him, and you will get what you want. It has that appearance, does it not? Robin says, and who cares about being fair? Different rules for different fools. That's an interesting expression. There are different rules for different fools. This goes right along with, it's believable. You listen to how he acts. If people kiss his ass, he seems to work with them. If they contradict and fight with him, he attacks them. That's what it appears like, because that's what we see. And instead of taking action and fixing problems, which we wanted him to do, and which we thought we were going to get, and we saw DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, pointing out all these areas in government where fraud, waste, and abuse was happening. Corruption, extortion, blackmail, and bribery, and everything else. We thought he was going to fix it. Oh, he brought in tough-talking Cash and tough-talking Dan and tough-talking Bimbo Bondi, all for them to do fucking nothing except take credit for the arrest of other departments. It's a big fucking sham. The whole thing is a fucking sham. If Kash Patel arrested Adam Schiff, if Pam Bondi arrested Hillary Clinton, if Dan Bongina arrested Obama, we would all say, okay, there is law and order. There is a fight for justice. I would think differently. But we've got zero fucking arrests. The Epstein client lists are hidden. They lied about it. They covered it up. Kash Patel is fucking a honeypot, half his age, who's way too fucking hot for him. And he's so stupid, he's now spending millions of American taxpayer dollars to fly his sorry ass around so he can suck up. Unfucking believable. Get this. Let's continue about different rules for different fools. Mike Benz wrote an article, and he said there are 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 criminal charges Judge James Boasberg committed in the scandal of, eavesdropping, spying on government officials. And Mike Benz says Pam Bimbo Bondi could immediately arrest this crooked piece of shit judge, Boasberg. My prediction? Bimbo Bondi does nothing. Ever. No one will take that bet against me. Nobody. You want to know why? Because she's arrested no fucking buddy. She didn't even arrest James Comey. She was given all the work, all the crimes, the criminal referral. All she had to do was get an arrest warrant and go get his ass, and they got a summons. A summons. Pam Bondi, bimbo bitch, is going to complete her career in the U.S. government as a stooge, a puppet, a sellout, and a treasonously lame fucking lawyer. This is our country, folks. Shit has hit the fan, has it not? They're not fixing anything. They're not gonna fix anything. They're not gonna fix a fucking thing. They're all playing a game. They're playing a fucking game. Even J.D. Vance. And these people are smart enough, folks. They're smart enough to argue with Democrats, but they won't do a fucking thing. They won't do their job. They will line up and suck the nuts off of anyone with money that wants to donate to their campaign. And we know that AIPAC likes to donate the most. And they also like to threaten the most. In fact, Israel was bragging about all the cool weapons they have that America doesn't know about and that they're superior to us. Oh, yeah, folks. Oh, yeah. Zero fucking respect for anything. And our government is doing jack shit. Now, do you know that over the weekend there was an explosion at Harvard University at the medical school? And guess what the FBI is doing? Yeah, they're looking into it, calling it an intentional blast. Well, fuck. They got a picture of 2 Utes wearing masks at the time of the crime. That might be a giveaway. That might be a fucking clue that they're Antifa terror students. Well, the FBI is looking into it, folks. They say it looks intentional, maybe. Oh, they figured that shit out, didn't they? That's our government. That's our fucking government, eh? Yeah, you bet. I don't even know where to fucking begin. I know how this is going to end. That's what I do know. I know how this is going to end. It's going to end in massive amounts of bloodshed. Folks, the Department of Homeland Security has a report. This report has some alarming figures in it. Has anyone read the DHS reports lately? There is an 8,000%, not 8% or 80 or even 800. 8,000. That means 80 times more death threats against ICE agents. Why? Because the rhetoric is fueling violence against law enforcement in this country. And where is that rhetoric coming from? Radical left scumfucks in colleges, including the professors. It's coming from local and state politicians. It's coming from media, both entertainment and news. And it's coming from federal officials pushing for violence that's being supported by, you guessed it, foreign agencies that want America trashed. You can guess what countries want that. So my question is, where's Bimbo Bondi? Where's she at? We have an 8,000% explosion, an explosion in death threats. It's not an increase. It's not a jump. It's a fucking explosion. Where's the honeypot Cash Patel team to end this support and encouragement of violence, terrorism, and even treason? Where is it from the federal government? They're not doing a fucking thing. They're busy paying themselves, patting themselves on the back, playing fucking games, and leaving you and me to pay the fucking bill and to suffer the consequences. It's not going to get better, folks. Are you prepared for what they want to do, what they're going to do? I really hope you are, because it's not going to be pretty. It's not. While you and I work our asses off, pay our fucking taxes, pay for our insurance, pay for our house, car, life, medical, every fucking insurance that we're forced to pay. While they take a fat fucking paycheck, don't pay their taxes, and use everything to their advantage. And our enemies around the world hate us. In fact, in Nigeria, folks, they are having a Christian genocide. Whether it's genocide or not, doesn't matter. Whether it's 2 dozen or 10 dozen people have been killed just because they're Christians. And the Nigerian president there is denying that this is going on. And he's denounced Trump for threatening military intervention. And as soon as I heard that Trump wants and has threatened military intervention in the country of Nigeria, I started asking myself the question, are there different rules for different fools? I'm going to call back on Robin's thing. See, that's called circling back. Jen Psaki could learn a lesson here. Are there different rules? Are other countries, they just don't give a fuck? Yeah, you bet they don't give a fuck. Right? Well, Nigeria, it is their nation, so let the Nigerian government allow this. Let them flop or succeed without the good old United States of America. But Trump wants to intercede. Hey, we should, try and help people that are good, right? Well, Trump won't intercede in Gaza, will he? To stop the massacre of people there. And he won't intercede in Syria either. But you know what's going on in both Gaza and Syria? Israel is using bombs, rockets. They're using missiles and explosives to blow up Christian churches and Christian sites, like literally the mausoleum of St. Peter. It's been there 1900 fucking years. And who blew it up? That's right, Israel. Trump won't intercede in Gaza or Syria on behalf of Christians there. So what's that tell us? They really don't give a fuck about Christians, do they? Or it's obvious that Israel owns Trump and they can bomb churches and mausoleums and kill Christians without consequence. Israel first, right, DC? Right, Trump? It's fucking obvious, isn't it? This isn't our nation anymore. We are occupied. Our politicians are controlled. And I hate to say this, but there's going to be hell to pay for it. I am a small channel, folks. This is a small channel on social media. We're nobody, relatively speaking, to someone like Benny Johnson or Charlie Kirk, who's now dead, or Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes, or many, many other hardcore America First types. America First, not Israel First, not America with a lot of Israel, and no, America First. And what a lot of these influencers are saying is, if you're not America First, then what? You're make Israel great again? It's all about Israel first, or European interests first, or bankers' interests first. It's very frustrating to a lot of Americans, and they're going to vote that way. And something unusual, and I've discussed this a little bit with friends, but it needs to be discussed far more. There was fear on my part and the part of many other people that these young generations are too fucking stupid, too lazy, too brainwashed and indoctrinated by school to realize what the fuck is going on in the world. To my surprise, and also my delight, these Gen Z kids have woken the fuck up. Not all of them, of course, but many, many, many of them have woken up, and they are going to vote against the status quo. They are going to vote for America First. They see no future for themselves in America, the way things are going. And they are going to be the foot soldiers of change for our republic. Again, I'm not condoning violence, but it's going to come, folks. I'm an old man now. But these kids, they know better. And I will be more than happy to teach them about the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, the Declaration of Independence, early America, all of the real facts that are being hidden by schools. They may know it. They may have a lot of this already in mind. But you can speak, folks, to truth and people will know it. Are you prepared for what's coming? I sure hope so. Without liberty, we're lost. Without free speech, we're lost. Without a Second Amendment, we're owned and destroyed. Good thing we have all of those things, do we not? Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. I hope you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense in your plan. Semper Fi means always faithful. God bless America. I'll talk to you guys 0 dark tomorrow.